Hello, everyone. Uh, My name is Francis. I'm the co founder and CEO of PayMongo. I'm very excited to be invited again to speak to you at this year's Philippine Startup Week. This is a great opportunity for a lot of folks in the community, but as well as folks from the entire country to meet and experience entrepreneurship at its finest in the Philippines. Last year, I had the opportunity and the privilege to speak with many of you about being intentionally optimistic, trusting the team that you've built, and embracing failure when it comes to building your startup. And as time flies so fast, it's been a year since I spoke about that, and for sure, and I'm super optimistic that we've all learned a lot since then. For example, adjusting to this new normal, knowing when and how to persevere, and also taking advantage of how the latest technology, many online tools can help your business prosper during these difficult times. And for sure, you've realized that there is no cheat sheet or a standard playbook for running your business under a pandemic. I'd like to think that we've learned enough by now to pretty much help each other out. And after a year and a half of living under this COVID-19 pandemic, adjusting to our new lifestyle, our new way of life, we should all be exchanging tips and sharing many of our best practices to help each other succeed in this new economy. So first, let me update you on what PayMongo, what we've been working on over the past year. And I must say it's been an exciting year for us and for sure for many startups in this country. And I'd like to let you know of the learnings, also the things that we've achieved, and the miracles that our team continuously build on a day to day. And I'm very much lucky to say that, how we've also grown, and why today, more than any other time, is the most exciting time to start a business, right? No matter which industry you're in, which field you want to start in. So I guess just a briefer of what we do as a company. So PayMongo, we're a fintech company. We allow businesses in the Philippines to accept all types of payments over the internet. That's basically a simple way of saying that we help businesses go online by helping them forget about payments, basically the least sexy thing in any of the business. So we do all the non-sexy things so that you guys can focus on what matters most, which is your business. And when we started the company just a little over 2 years ago, our inspiration really is that we believe that anyone can start and grow an amazingly successful business online. Whether you're a mom and pop shop pursuing your passion project, maybe you're in your garage just building whatever it is that you feel could have an impact in this world, or in fact, even if you're a large company, maybe you're serving thousands if not hundreds of thousands of people, we believe that everyone has the capacity to succeed in this new age. And we believe in that message very much, that our company only grows when the merchants we help grows with us. And to us, that really aligns very strongly in how we believe the digital economy will prosper everyone over the next coming years. And for sure, you remember at the early onset of the pandemic, early in 2020, many businesses were forced to go online almost overnight. Right? There was no playbook on how to shift your business when lockdown started kicking in and there were restrictions in travel and movement. And you see, there was a surge in e-commerce transactions, and many entrepreneurs were looking to ensure the continuity of their business. And that in many ways, especially for many of the successful businesses, you know, served as our tailwinds as well to continue building products and services to help more and more businesses succeed online. One thing we continuously tell our merchants at the company is that we grow as you grow, and our pricing model and our approach to how we help our partner merchants is a testament to that, right? And while to be quite honest, we're just less than 1% of what we could actually achieve. We're still far from our goal of making every business a successful internet business. We've achieved, and I must say, we've achieved some pretty crazy milestones over the past year. And this isn't just an indicator of the growth of PayMongo, but really a temperature check, right? A testament to the growth of the entire ecosystem that we are in. One, we've scaled the company to over 150 employees to date. And to put that in perspective, early in 2020, we were just less than 30 people. And we've definitely grown the company at the height of the pandemic more than ever in our 2.5 years of existence. And each one that has joined the company, they're all crazy enough to think that they can make every Philippine business more successful online. And all of these, we've built our team without having to meet everyone in person. And in fact, quite honestly, I guess the unfortunate thing of the pandemic is that I actually have not met a huge majority of folks in the company in person yet. But I'm very much looking forward to that day that we could toast over some drinks to celebrate the achievements that we've made so far. And I guess more importantly, with our partner merchants, we've now grown to over 7,000 merchants, mostly small businesses, because the small and medium business are at the core of what we do here in the company, right? And we plan to expand to even thousands of more, if not tens of thousands of more businesses over the next coming months. And we've definitely grown a lot from processing our first $2,000 in the first month in 2019. We now process millions. We now move millions of dollars on a monthly basis today. So that's definitely a privilege, and we're excited to even enable more businesses in alongside with that growth. And we've also expanded our products and partnerships, right? Ranging across payments acceptance. So when you see, and I'm sure probably many of you have encountered some of our checkout experience, right? So that we've strengthened our payments acceptance over the last year or so, and now our team's working hard to even expand beyond payments acceptance to really building the entire financial operating system for the country. So all of that came with a lot of challenges and lessons over the past year, right? And I always when I tell the story of our growth in the company, it's always anchored back to the team that actually makes the miracle every day. When I share the story, I'm in a position of privilege, really working with these 150 folks that actually do the hard work to make the company prosper, and in return also help our merchants succeed in the online economy. So one thing that I've learned, that the management team have learned, and the founders have learned, is that in any situation, good things will happen if you have a team you can trust. So the very big lesson, and it did not come easy for even a company like ours, was that the company is your team, right? And whatever culture you've built internally, how you treat each other, how you intentionally cultivate that camaraderie, that teamwork, and really aligning everyone into your vision is crucial to building generational and impactful products. So especially during the pandemic, it is important for you not only to build the best team, the most talented folks, but also to build a culture where everyone can easily trust each other and that everyone comes from intention of doing good with one another. And that to me is important because um, as as um, as what we tell folks, PayMongo is a product centric company. We are a customer centric company, and the people who work in the company are the ones that are building those products and talking to our customers. So that's one big lesson that we've learned over the past year, and I believe that will continue to be at the core of what we do in the company over the next coming years, even as we come out well after this pandemic is over. Another lesson, and I guess part of it is this challenge, especially fueled with the tailwind of the pandemic, is managing a fast-growing company is hard. And I'm sure a lot of the startups here today could very much relate to that. And to tell you the story, my role evolves pretty much every 3 and 6 months. And when you're in a fast-growing company, nothing is ever permanent. Whether that's the structure of your team, whether that's the role you play, and titles are there, and I may be the CEO of the company, but the scope of my job has continuously evolved over the last 2 years. When we started, I was very much involved in writing code, but now really it's becoming more strategic. And part of that growth of the company is also growing into the role, and anchoring to what I said earlier, really being able to cultivate trust with one another, because as you change, as you evolve the company, as everybody evolves in their role, there has to be the element that you're able to work and manage that growth. More people will come into the company, more teams will be formed, and in order to, I guess, in order to succeed and be part of that fast growth, everyone has to work well together. So I guess as founders, you need to be able to continuously learn that. And I must say that I'm still learning as the company grows even bigger over the next coming months. As a founder, what I can tell to many of you who are either starting your own company just most recently, or are thinking of starting one soon, being a founder is one of the hardest thing out there, right? It's this thing that seems, when you hear or read the story online, it seems to be the most glamorous thing, but when you're in there, it's one of the most painstaking experience anybody could have. And sometimes, and it is quite common to even ask yourself why you even brought this to yourself to begin with. So it's normal if you feel that it's super hard, because it is, right? And imagine having to do all of that in the middle of a health crisis, right? Not knowing what the restrictions are, or how our government will change their guidelines tomorrow. There's so much uncertainties, right? And including the investment landscape, how things are moving, how the business might survive another month or two. It's becoming harder and harder by the day. And the fact that you're here, right? You're here, you're building your company. It's not just pure luck, right? There is an element of luck, but there's also an element of just being persevering in many ways, right? You've weathered the storm by staying hungry and scrappy, right? You've found your own ways to succeed. And as I always tell my team, there is the thing that separates founders from everybody else is that optimism. And I always preach the value of being intentionally optimistic, because in a world where there's a lot of reasons to give up, where there's a lot of reasons not to do things, what founders have is that optimism to just challenge what's the status quo. And for many, that's what drives them to succeed eventually. And because we've persevered, because we continuously are optimistic, there's so much to be excited about, right? And one, there's a lot more investments coming into Southeast Asia, in particular the Philippines, than ever before, right? There's a lot of interests in the region. There's a lot of interest in this market in particular. So it is a great time to be a founder. It is a great time to really leverage the dynamics of the market and where it's going. So while it is hard to build a company, it is encouraging to see that there is so much growth across the board as well, right? Our internet economy is growing. An often cited figure claims that the internet economy of the Philippines is set to grow to around $28 billion by 2025. But honestly, with how things are moving, we think the potential is much bigger than this, considering how how there have been a lot of innovations when it comes to making businesses thrive on the internet, right? With countless ways how money is moved online. And one thing that really and super encourages me on a day to day is that there has been a greater collaboration within the startup community, particularly in our very small but growing startup community in the Philippines, right? And throughout all these amazing growth, we have such a tight knit community of startup founders, enthusiasts, and friends who are very much willing to share their ideas and work towards them. I'm very lucky to be part of that community. In fact, like a lot of them, a lot of folks who are part of the community are my go-to persons, right? When there are challenges when it comes to even hiring or even structuring the company, even when it comes to investments, you always will have that one or many persons actually to go to ask for advice. So I guess learning from that, encourage everyone to leverage this network, because everyone is very, very much helpful in helping you think about your business and helping you succeed alongside everyone. And I'm also very much lucky to be part of that and very much willing to pay it forward as well. For us at PayMongo, we've grown than any of us thought was possible. Right? When we started the company, we had an idea. We had 8 people in the team, mostly engineers, and we didn't think that we could have grown this fast over the past 2 years. But I think this is only a small part of what we can actually achieve. And this, as I said earlier, as a testament to the growth of the internet economy in this country, I can confidently say that we are still just at the beginning of that growth of our economy, right? Especially for SMBs who are now given a lot of opportunities, and we're privileged to be part of that enabler on how you can participate on the digital economy. So before I end, I guess this talk today, I just want to give some advice, right? And basically learnings that I've realized starting PayMongo and also working with my co-founders and the team that may help you think about your business as well, especially in these times. One thing that we continuously tell the team, but also one of our values really, part of it is being intentionally optimistic and be intrinsically motivated. I guess one thing we've learned is that you will never get things right the first time, and maybe even the third time, right? And accepting that fact that when you have an idea, you're starting a company, and it's not always a smooth ride at the beginning, is actually liberating, because you'll develop that mindset that you need to continuously learn and adapt with the market, adapt with your product, adapt with your customers, and allows you to build a very nimble and flexible company and culture. And having that perspective will help you as a founder, will help your team just experiment and try out things. It will trickle down into your process on how you think about your product and how you communicate with your customers. So for us, it is one of those great learnings that we've experienced over the last 2.5 years. And there's definitely a lot of things we've failed on. And knowing that you will never get it right the first time just encourages everyone just to try out. And what's the most important thing really is to have built a product that you can bring out to the market the fastest. So remember, you should continuously learn and know that it's not you're not going to get it the first time. Another, I guess, building and anchoring on that note is just embrace your naivete, right? When we started the company, none of us ever had experience in banking and finance. And in fact, as me and my co-founders always talk about it, kids are, the best creative thinkers because they are not bound by their biases as an adult, right? And when you think like a kid, especially when it comes to building new products, it actually allows you to have the creative freedom to think about the new ways of approaching things. So don't be afraid to feel that you're naive when it comes to thinking about your company, thinking about your idea. So embrace it, use it to your advantage, right? Hire people who have the drive and the passion and the talent who may not have the experience. And in fact, like a lot of the folks who are now leading teams in the company never had any prior experience at all. They've learned it along the way. We've helped them cultivate their drive into and use that as an advantage into specific areas in the company. So cultivate that culture that being naive is an advantage. Another is use all the tools at your disposal. And I say this because there's a lot of resources that we did not realize existed even before, right? And because the pandemic has pushed the digital economy further ahead, right, faster than any event in the world, we're now in the best spot to grow our companies on the internet, right? So if you know where to look, you'll find solutions for any needs you may have as you navigate this landscape. So there's a lot of tools, for us in payments, where we try our best to help in our small little way to help you further along, right? And the digital infrastructure today unlocks new business models, and I'm very encouraged to see a lot of creativity among entrepreneurs today. So as I said earlier, resources like this community are to your advantage. So always, don't be afraid to go out there and just take advantage, just leverage all the resources you could get. And finally, a common theme that I always talk about with my team, with everyone, just asking for advice. Have a strong vision, stick with it, right? Stay ambitious, and the phrase I always repeat: be intentionally optimistic. There's a lot of skeptics out there. There's a lot of reasons why not to do things, but honestly, the future belongs to those who are crazy enough to think that they can make a difference, right? That's, I guess, a paraphrase of the famous Steve Jobs quote. And what keeps me encouraged every day I wake up, right, is I'm always excited to see all the things we can achieve together, right? And I guess being in PayMongo is a privileged position to see how the rest of the internet economy, or how the rest of our economy is booming, right? And I'm always inspired to hear stories from our merchants of how their companies have pivoted through challenges and have grown significantly over the last year or two. So there are so many reasons to be excited. There are so many reasons to be optimistic. And I'm actually encouraged to have a forum like the Philippine Startup Week for us to share all those stories, insights, and optimism with each other. And for us at PayMongo, and for me, we're always here to help. We always love to help entrepreneurs like yourselves. We always like to help businesses grow and succeed on the internet. And even when you're just starting out your idea, we'd love to help think through how you can position or build your idea into fruition. So we're just one message away. I'm just one message away, and we'd love to hear from you guys directly. You can feel free to reach out to me directly at francis@paymongo.com. Feel free to send me an email. I always try my best to respond. And the team is always more than happy also to help. We're one email away at support@paymongo.com. We have a website also built specially for this event, which you may have seen now through the ticker. But just go to paymongo.com. We'd be more than happy to help whatever your business or industry you're in. We love supporting businesses and entrepreneurs. So again, thank you so much for the privilege of being able to speak to you today. I'm excited to see a lot more entrepreneurs, and so much optimism is out there, and happy to be a small part of this community. So thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for listening.